Hey guys, it's your girl Mac. Welcome back to the show. This is Mac Reviews. I do reviews of Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiancé. Today I'm reviewing season 5, episode 3 of Love After Lockup. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about Renika and Asante first because nothing much really happens with them. I think this couple might end up just being a nothing burger this season. Hopefully they drop off in a few episodes because there's nothing here. So we see the private investigator is still there, and he somehow finds either the hotel room number or something. The no, it's a cell phone number for the girlfriend. But I was confused because Renika said she was texting with the girl. So I was like, why don't you just call her? I didn't understand. Like, so anyways, he pretends to be like from the hotel front desk, and the girl seemed to fall for it, but then later he sends him a text message and said, I know you're playing on my phone. I'm not even at a place that where we could get hotels and towels or something like that. So, and it sounded like he said was, so not sure that they were there anymore. So it seems like she is with Asante because she said he asked her something to indicate if it was her too. So then he says, "Okay, let's try to go find. I think I know where they are. We can find them." And he said he was gonna surveil them or something like that. And Renika was gonna come along. The friend was like, "I'm not coming. I don't want to be involved in no BS like this." But then I think that Asante finally calls Renika back and he is lying to her, telling her that he's getting his social security cards and some stuff. And she's like cursing him out, saying, You're lying, blah, blah, blah. You trying to play me. And he ends up just hanging up on her. And so, yeah, and the private investigator, he seems to be really excited to be on TV. So yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. It appears that Asante just, has ditched her. I was wondering, did the producers call him? Were they trying to get a hold of him? Because did he not agree to film this show? I mean, we see that he does a confessional with the producers, so it looks like him and Renika don't end up being together at all. So that's why I said I hope that we pretty much are done with them in a couple of episodes. Maybe in the next episode or two, they'll be gone because clearly nothing ended up transpiring between them except him sleeping with her that one night, and that was it. He clearly didn't intend to film with her at all. Um, and he has passed away. So, and there was a girlfriend that was 5 months pregnant. So it probably is this chick. So yeah, this couple is just whatever at this point. They're not really entertaining. That's why I want to get them out of the way quickly. Now let's talk about the next couple, Joinomi and Red. So we have a new couple. And oh child. Um so Joinomi is 29, Red is 30. She's a medical assistant. She lives in New Mexico. Um Red is in prison in Missouri. He's been in there for 10 years. They've been together for 7 years apparently. Renomi is Native American. She said from the Navajo Nation. Um, but Jonomi, uh, this is this is a this story. This so apparently they've never met in person. He claims that he has a lot of visitation restrictions. I find it hard to believe that he's had visitation restrictions for 7 years. I cannot believe she's never gone to meet this person in 7 years. I'm pretty sure she could have met him at some point. Um, Yonomi tells us that she's never been in a serious relationship in person. She's just talked to dudes online. She said that they met. because of a dude she met on Facebook who connected her to Red. Apparently, they knew each other in prison. And I, she says she's, like I said, never been in a serious relationship in person and never had sex in a relationship. So every time she's ever been intimate with someone, it's been a one night stand. And that's how she conceived her son. She has a 3-year-old son named Sway, who it would appear the father is probably black or Latino. 'Cause the little boy has curly hair. I mean, they're all brown, but he's a little browner, a little bit. And and she says that she hasn't told the father. So the guy doesn't even know that he has a son, and this is so wrong. Up until that point, I was feeling a little sorry for her, but that is dead wrong. I understand if it was a one night stand, but regardless, that man has a right to make a choice for himself about whether he wants to be in his child's life, and she's making the choice for him, and that's not fair. That's not right. And then she's coming on national television and telling millions of people she needs to find that man and tell him unless he's watching the show, and now he knows. But it's just very wrong. And I don't understand how she's been talking to this man. She says she's been sending him money. She sends him money every time she gets paid. She says she sends him money from her income tax return. She says that sometimes that means going without her phone for a few days, going without Wi-Fi, borrowing from others. I mean, this is very sad, and she just seems vulnerable, and I don't know why she would be vulnerable because she has like 8 sisters. She doesn't seem isolated. Um, like she has community. So I don't know why she's in this situation. She says I just don't get it. How can you say you're in a relationship with someone for 7 years and you've never met? I don't understand why she's never gone to meet this man. The fact that he appears It's just knowing that she's sending him all this money for 7 years, and he's telling her that he has visitation restrictions. It sounds like she's being taken advantage of. Um, she says that he has decided that when he gets out, he's going to be a father figure to her son. I don't believe this guy. As soon as I heard that he's sending him all this money and that she got connected to him through a guy from Facebook, it just sounds like she's getting played. Um, she needs to tell that man, the guy who's the actual father, that he has a son. It is really not fair to him or the little boy. Um, he goes with one of her many sisters. He's got no real talk. I said 8. He real talk has at least 4 sisters, if 4 or 5, it would appear. So, one of them takes her to a pawn shop to sell several items that apparently were given to her by her grandmother. The sister says that these are family heirlooms. She was really pissed off and upset that she was selling them, and I was shocked, you know. I mean that that was quite shocking that you would sell things that were gifted to you by your grandmother, and especially when you're in um a culture where those things are apparently very revered and valued. Um, yeah. So and then she says something stupid, which I mean, she says something that doesn't make sense. She says that she cheated on him, cheated, air quotes, because 4 years into their relationship, again, air quotes, this is a pen pal situation. This is not a relationship. So, um, he slept with somebody else. Apparently, she said he was in the hole, which I guess means solitary confinement for half a year, so I guess they couldn't talk. And I'm like, if you guys didn't talk for 6 months, again, you're not in a relationship. He's in prison. You've never met. You've never been together on the outside. This is not a relationship. What are you talking about? That's not cheating. He says, "Oh, when when I get out, we have to have a conversation about it." No, you don't. There's no conversation to be had. You are in jail. She didn't get to talk to you for 6 months. You can sleep with somebody that she wants. It's ridiculous. Like, so yeah, um, this is sad. This is quite sad. And I'm part of me is like, this this may have not been good casting. I mean, it's good casting because it's probably going to be a train wreck. I'm concerned about what's going to happen when he comes out. They've never met. I hope the same thing that happened to what's her name, Renika, doesn't happen to her, where he just sleeps with her and leaves. I really hope that doesn't happen. This girl seems genuine. She doesn't seem like she's putting on or pretending for the camera. So I feel bad for her, but at the same time, she really needs to tell the father. Like that is wrong. So yeah. So next, let's talk about Brittany and Andy. I'm wondering if this couple's gonna drop off in a couple episodes as well too, because Brittany's not playing the game. She's not. I don't know what her plan or her game plan was for this, what she thought was gonna happen, what she's intending to happen. So she says that she was really happy to spend time with her children because she was at her son's birthday party and her other kids were there. She um she she says she's really tired and she wants to go back to the hotel. Now, Andy and his son, we're supposed to believe that they are out there for 2 hours waiting. I heard something on social media. Somebody said that the daughter Gracie posted on Facebook that they did end up going into the party after a certain amount of time. So, okay, but still, they were out there waiting for, even if it wasn't the 2 hours, maybe 30 minutes, who knows? But um, he tells him they were supposed to go back to his house in Rome, Georgia, but she was like, I don't want to go back there yet. I really want to just go to sleep instead of having to drive, and then we go tomorrow or something. And he agrees to that. He's not being assertive at all. He's not, he's just going along with whatever she tells him to do. So while he goes to get the hotel room, he talks to his son and says, listen, I know that your sisters were concerned about me doing drugs because um, they've dealt with a parent who's doing drugs, but I don't have any intentions of going back to that. And, the son was just like, okay. And when they spoke to the son, he was like, I mean, she seems nice. Hopefully it works out. Like, I don't think he's putting too much into this with her. Like, I don't think he really sees anything for this. I think he's just supporting his dad, but he's not really like I don't think he sees this going anywhere. I don't think he's invested in this. I think he sees his dad as being foolish and he's just like whatever. I think he's indifferent. So, Andy believes that or he wants them to have sexy time. He believes that there's sexual attention between them and it's like, "What? Are you paying attention?" Sexual attention has to be coming from both people. This woman is not attracted to you. Like, how blind can you be? So she already told him that she wants to go to sleep. Apparently, there were two bedrooms in the room. I don't even know why they were in the same bed. But he wants to have sex. She doesn't. And she already told him she just wants to go to sleep, that she's tired. The next morning, when the producers talked to them, she said she felt very really awkward and uncomfortable. He says nothing happened and he was disappointed about that. She says he was trying to like kiss her or hug her and she just seemed really disgusted and uncomfortable. And it's just obvious that she's not attracted to him. She's saying that now that even though they spoke for months, now that she's out, it's just awkward. It's not comfortable. And it's like, if you like him, how come it's uncomfortable? Like she's not attracted to him. She doesn't like him. And my thing that I'm trying to figure out is what was her plan? Like what was she intending to happen here? Like, did she want to go live with him? Was she just going to ditch him the next day? Like, she's not really even trying or making an effort to pretend that she likes him. Like, I thought she was just going to try to get this man's money and get a place to live until she gets on her feet. But if she was trying to do that, she would have to at least pretend to like him. Like she would have to at least act as if she was interested in him. And she's not doing that. This is the morning of the second day and she's already sick of him. She's already disgusted and doesn't want to even be near him. So I don't understand if she just intended to ditch him. Maybe she was I don't know what I'm just trying to figure out like what she wanted to do, what she expected to happen with this guy because it doesn't make sense. Like how she's acting, it's like if you don't like him and you're not attracted to him at all, you would have to at least pretend, you'd have to put on an act like we've seen people do on this show to get what you want, but she's not even doing that. So I'm like, what is the game plan? Are you gonna go back to live with him? What are you gonna do? Like I don't understand what her plan is here. What are you expecting to happen? I mean, when you're gonna be with a dude like this who you're not attracted to and you just want his money, it's a transaction. That's it. Like it's transactional. So, anyways, so then she gets on the phone with her daughter. Her daughter, either she calls her daughter, or her daughter calls her. Her daughter is upset. She's crying, and she's asking her if she can come see her. And the daughter is like, "No, I'm upset." And she's like, "Okay, well, when you go to sleep and you're not upset, can you come see me?" She's like, "No, that's not how it works." The daughter is pretty much saying that he feels some type of way because the day before, Brittany has said like she really relies on her daughter because she knows that she loves her and she's always going to be there for her. And I think what Gracie is saying is that really hurt her because it's like you think that you can just hurt me, you can go to jail, you cannot be there for me, and I'm still going to support you, and this was so sad. Like this was such a sad conversation, and once again, I feel like it shouldn't have been filmed. I'm not feeling Brittany. We gotta see how this goes, but I feel really bad for her daughter, especially. She's saying that she recognizes that her actions and behavior have hurt Gracie, and she's ready to listen to what she has to say. But I don't think she wants to go with Andy, and I don't think she's gonna end up staying with him. Like, I think again, I don't know what her plan is here, but I guess we'll see what happens. Again, this couple might drop off because Brittany doesn't seem to want to go with the flow. She doesn't understand that like this is a transaction. You're not going to get all this stuff from this man for free. He's not just going to sit here and give you stuff without an expectation of something in return. Not to mention Andy's a creep. The fact that she told him she just wanted to sleep and then he doesn't ask her consent. He doesn't say, "Hey, okay, but can we sleep together?" Where she can be like, "Okay, no, I'm not ready for that." He didn't have a conversation with her. He just starts putting his hands on her. That's not okay. You have to get consent. To mention, yeah, they've been talking all these months, but this is your first time being together on the outside. Like the fact that he didn't try to have a conversation with her to see where her mind was, and he just tried to start putting his hands on her is disgusting. He's a creep. So now let's move on to the next couple. Let's talk about wait, who? Kelsey and Mikey. So Chelsea and Mikey meet for the first time before we see them meet. Well, the first time in person, she did visit him in prison, but she only visited him once. So I think they've only been talking for like a year. And so on the way to pick him up, she's telling us that all her relationships have been abusive. She said her last relationship lasted 6.5 years and it was abusive. The guy was abusive to her. And she said they've been abusive because people take advantage of her. Felt really bad for Chelsea in this moment. Chelsea, I don't have a problem with her. I like her purple hair. Purple is my favorite color. The color looks good on her. She seems genuine. Um, but yeah, I felt bad for her that she's been in all these abusive relationships and she's got 3 kids. And it seems like all the kids have different dads because she said the other 2 kids, her older kids, their fathers, she said fathers are in their lives, but her son, I don't know his name. Bryson, Jake, I don't know, Jake? She said her younger son, who's like 11, 12, or 13, he's like a preteen or something. His father's not in his life. So she wants Mikey to meet all her kids because it's important that they like him, but especially the younger one because he doesn't have his dad isn't in his life. Um, so and this is why she doesn't want to have sex yet. She says she's scared because she's been in abusive relationships. And I think that makes sense. And she wants to see if she can trust Mikey. She wants to see if he has integrity, if he's going to stay out of jail. That makes sense. I really respect that she doesn't want to have sex with him right away. 4 to 6 months, I mean, she's got to maybe compromise on that. But maybe 3 months, maybe just 4 months, you know? So, but I respect it because a lot of women we see on this show just jump into bed with these men. They don't wait for these men to do anything. They don't have to prove anything. And really, that's not wise. That's foolish. It's smart of her to learn from what she's been through and to try to do better. And if Mikey can't understand that, he's not for her. So, so we do get to see Mikey. It was really cute. Like he seemed genuinely excited to see her. He had a keyboard with him, which I was like, oh, plays piano. He put that into prison with him. But yeah. And then they were genuinely excited. They hugged. It was really sweet. Like I actually, it was really sweet. A lot of times on this show, when these reunions happen, I'm just like, eh. But this was actually really cute. Mikey did learn sign language, so he's trying to practice and everything. But you know, he definitely acknowledges that hey, it's one thing to do it on video, it's another to get used to it on the outside. But he is trying. He's doing his best, and he says she can read lips. But I'm like, he offered to write stuff down, and I feel like she should just let him do that because that's a lot to have to read his lips, you know? He's willing to write stuff down. So I hope that, you know, he does that. But it does appear that he has learned sign language, which is good. So Mikey tells us about himself. He, Mikey got a 16-year sentence for robbery, stealing a car, a couple other things. I don't remember. And he only served 4 years, which I was like, wow. Like he, I don't know what that's about, but because that other guy, we've got two other people on this show who have served 10-year sentences. Red served a 10-year sentence, which he's 30, so that means he went into jail when he was 20. My God, lost his whole 20s. Um, we've had people in the past on this show like that as well. Last season, that little guy who was with what's his name? Derek. He was in jail for 10 years, something like that. And then this season we have what's his face? The Italian guy with no teeth. He said he got sentenced to 10 years and he was in for 10 years and then 10 years of probation. So I don't know how this guy got out on 4 years out of a 16-year sentence. He's out on parole. He'll be on parole and he'll only be on parole for 6.5 years. Could have been on parole for the rest of that time. And then Brittany has a crazy parole time as well, like 20 years or something. I understand. But anyways, so he was just telling us how he started getting in trouble when he was really young. Apparently, his dad died when he was young, and so he's been like stealing cars and all that his whole life. How old is he? He's like 30 something years old, like 32, I think, and she's like 37. So, you know, he's always been getting in trouble. I'm gonna find out the strokes were real. He said that he stuck by him through the strokes and didn't just stop talking to him. And that's what made him say, wow, like this girl is really serious. She has a good heart. We all thought, okay, anyone who watched, if you loved during lockup when they were on the first or second season, when they were talking about those strokes, a lot of us thought he was lying. Like a lot of us thought that he was trying to get rid of her, that he wasn't genuinely interested and didn't want to talk to her anymore. So to find out that he really was having strokes, like I'm shocked. And I mean, I guess my bad for but the people on this show tend to be so disingenuous and dishonest. So wow, like good for him that he survived that. I don't understand what caused that, but yeah. I mean, so anyways, yeah, they just drove off. We just got to see them meet. We didn't get to see anything else with them yet, but it was definitely nice. he was just as excited to see her. It seemed really genuine. It was actually sweet. So hopefully he doesn't mess up. I like Chelsea. I don't want him to hurt her. I don't want her to hurt him to hurt her. I hope that he respects her waiting. I hope she explains to him because she said she hasn't told him about her past and what she's been through. So I hope she can explain that to him and he can wait a little. Maybe she can compromise and maybe do 3 months, like Miss Joan Clayton from Girlfriend Friends. So yeah. Okay, next let's talk about Key Rock and Brittany. So we they show us again that he's hanging out with his family and they're eating. His mom cooked, which is really nice. I mean, considering that she was recovering from cancer, I was like, could somebody else have not cooked for her? Hopefully they helped her out. But she did kind of barbecue style food, ribs, corn, I think coleslaw, some other stuff. It looked good. So they're just hanging out and everybody's cooling, they're chilling, and Brittany, she's just saying how like she sees how much his family is supportive and loving and accepting, and she just wishes her family was like that with her. And yeah, I mean his family does seem really loving and supportive. And I hope that we get to meet her dad and her mom because I want to understand what happened as far as Brittany growing up. And I want to see what their vibe is because, I'm not a fan of parents who do this conditional love thing. I noticed that there seems to be a lot of parents in this world who love their children conditionally. It's like as long as you do what I want you to do and you live how I want you to live and you follow my rules, regardless of what age they are, they could be grown. If they don't approve of their lifestyle, whatever that is, it's like I don't love you. I don't care about you. I'm not going to support you. And that's not what true parents, healthy, loving, caring parents do. Even if you don't like and I'm not talking about if your kid is doing hard crimes like, killing people, if they're sexually assaulting people, if they're um doing violence, if they're really harming people. That's not what I'm talking about. But this girl, unfortunately, she went to jail for robbery or drugs or something like, and now she's going to school, she's working, she's got a vehicle, she's being responsible. Like, I don't understand, like, and okay, yes, she's with a trans man, but for you to just take away your love and your attention because of that, I don't respect it. It's really annoying to see these people who are like only gonna love their kids if they do everything they want them to do. These people do not deserve to be parents. And I hate to have to say that, but it pisses me off because that's not what parenting is. I'm not a parent, but myself, but I just think you can't love your kids conditionally. That makes me think you had your kids for selfish reasons. You had your kids because you wanted them to satisfy your needs and desires, and that's not fair. At the end of the day, your kids are going to grow up to be their own people, and you being a true parent is accepting that and respecting the decisions they make. Even if you don't like them, even if you don't approve of them, you still love them. You don't have to agree with them, but you still love them and you still support them, period. And that's why I respect Key Rock's mom because she understands that. She's not going to stop loving her child. And so part of me wants to meet her parents, and part of me doesn't because I don't want to get pissed off. But anyways, that's beside the point. Let's focus. Um, so they're going to the hotel because they want to have private time. And when we get there, Brittany gives Rock all these gifts. Now, let me say this right quick. Well, not quick, but let me say this. There's nothing wrong as a woman with giving, or, if you're in a same-sex relationship, whatever it is, giving gifts to the other person. But I'm particularly talking about heterosexual women because Rock is a trans man. She's not dealing with Rock as a woman anymore. So I thought this was foolish of Brittany. Um, The wallet is okay, that's fine. I could see you giving one gift, the wallet. Okay, he needs that. But everything else, she told us that she's possibly spent $3,000 to $4,000 by buying this stuff, these items that she gave him. I understand Brittany's in love, but she's also young. And I don't know what kind of guidance Brittany has gotten, But in her situation, I don't think this is wise because Hira just got out of jail. This person hasn't done anything to prove themselves to her yet. Don't got a job, don't got a place, hasn't shown that he can stay out of trouble, be on the straight and narrow. I feel like giving all those gifts before he's done that is foolish. He hasn't done anything to prove that he deserves any of that. Their relationship is based on being in prison right now, not in the real world. And so I think she could have given him just the wallet and something else, spend a little bit of money first, and wait until this person proves something to you. This guy has proven to you that he's reliable, that he has integrity, he does what he says he's gonna do when he said he was gonna do it. He shows you love, shows you support, is kind and encouraging and patient. If he does all those things and he gets a job and he's going to school or he's starting a business, like he's being responsible and showing you and proving himself, then you can do this when the person has proven themselves. But right now, he hasn't done anything to deserve $3,000 to $4,000 worth of items. So I feel like this is Brittany making rookie mistakes as a young girl, not understanding the game and how, and just maybe needing a mentor, needing feminine mentor in her life or a older woman. And when I say older, I don't even mean that much. Like she's what, 23, like somebody 10 years older, somebody 30, somebody who's just, like an older sister type figure because I feel like she's making some rookie mistakes just off of inexperience and a lack of wisdom. But Brittany just seems so pure. She really does. Like I like Brittany, and I often do not like people on this show. So I don't like a lot of people that come on this show, but I like her because she seems very genuine and honest and just yeah. So then she's taking him, he rocked to his first probation appointment. Now, let's get into this. Something I'm noticing about Key Rock in this episode is his lack of patience. When they were at his mother's home, she was making a plate for him, and he was like, "You're taking too long. Hurry up." And I was like, Having your plate made by your woman is um a kind gesture that you need to be grateful for. It's not something that you could just be like, hurry up and, like that. I didn't like that. And then when they were in the car, they left like an hour, like 45 minutes before the appointment, which they should have left earlier. So, but yeah, and he started, he rock again started getting impatient, getting annoyed. And I'm just like, I don't know how long this drive was, but it almost seemed like he went from 0 to 60. Like, how did you get irritated and annoyed so easily and so quickly? And I understand it's stressful, but she's driving you there. She doesn't have to do that. She, she's helping you. She's supporting you. She's not doing anything wrong. So and she got pissed off, so she started speaking in Spanish. And I don't know if he understood what she said because then he bleeped out what he said. So he said something obscene, a curse word or something. So I just didn't like that. I felt like, you know, usually, like I've never been in a relationship where a fight escalated so quick. Like usually to get to that point, it would take a lot. So I couldn't understand how the annoyance and the impatience turned to an argument like that so quickly. And then when she dropped him off, he was like, text me. And he was like, I might not. I'm like, what? You might not. How is she supposed to know when you're ready to get out or what happened? I don't understand. So we don't have to see about Kirok's attitude because I wasn't feeling it. And then when she gave, I don't know if the show edited this out. When she gave him the gifts, I don't remember him saying thank you. So the other reason why it's not a good idea to give men gifts before they've proven anything, and this might be true for women. I don't know about lesbian relationships, but with hetero relationships as a woman, the reason you don't want to give gifts before the man has proven himself is because then he can start to get entitled and have expectations and take advantage. Because if you don't expect him to have to do anything to get certain things from you, he's just gonna think he can just say and do whatever. And I am concerned that that might be what's happening here. Brittany said that she's usually submissive, but she has a breaking point. And I'm kind of like, okay, see, that's the other problem. You can't be submissive to a man who hasn't, again, who's not providing for you financially, who hasn't bought you a house, who's not taking care of you emotionally. Like, meaning, again, if a man is not leading, you don't submit to him. He needs to be leading. He needs to be showing you that he knows how to make decisions, he knows how to execute. He's patient, he's kind, he has integrity, he has character, he is getting good money, and he's gonna take care of you. Like, that's when you submit, not before. You don't submit just because. You don't submit because he has a penis. And in this case, I don't even know if Rock has had the gender surgery or not. I don't actually know. So, um, yeah. Anyways, we'll see what happens with these two. So last, let's talk about Louis and Melissa. Uh, so, um, so he is saying that he wants to go to the hotel to spend time with Melissa, and the mom is like, "No, we're gonna go home. You're not going to the hotel." And so they get to the house, and his mom are already arguing. They're already arguing. But he gets to the house and Melissa's asking him like, "How do you feel, to be home, to be back, your mom's house?" And he's saying like, he's happy to be out, but it's kind of surreal for him because he has bad memories there. So, we're gonna get into his issues. He says that he wants to change his life. He wants to take responsibility for his life. He said he wants to spend the rest of his life with Melissa. He claims that uh, that's yet to be seen. So he says that he started getting in trouble, like also when he was young. He did tell us last week that he's been on all the drugs that are out, he's been on them. And yeah, and so he said that his father died, and when he was young, wait, his father died? No, his father didn't die. Wow. His mom and dad got divorced. I'm not laughing. It's like I was about to give him sympathy. Well, he still deserves sympathy for that. But yeah, his dad's alive, but I guess maybe he's not present. But so it's always been him and his mom. They're really close, and he's saying how um it's always been them, just them. But the mom, like he's saying like with Italian moms, like they're really up under their kids. And I don't know if that's true because I don't know enough. I've known a few Italian people, but I didn't have that type of conversation with them. But I'm like, should we put this on your culture? I don't know. Is this maybe just your mom's particular situation? Um, because he's trying to like make an excuse for her behavior or something. But so we get into him wanting to go with Melissa, them to spend some private time. Before they get into that, she's up under him about taking a shower, and I think that's good. He at least went and took a shower. I think we need to give him a round of applause because the bare minimum, oh my gosh, the bar is in hell. So many people on this show get out and don't take showers and then sleep with these people, and it's disgusting. So shout out to him for actually taking a shower. Um, he looked clean. He looked way better after he took a shower. I mean, not that he looked super dirty before, but like a shower can make a difference, clearly. So, so they're eating dinner, and then he starts talking to his mom and saying, "Listen, mom, like, I think that I think you're feeling like Melissa is taking my attention away from you." And that's not what she's trying to do. And then the mom is like, "Yeah, I do feel that way." And she starts with these fake manipulative tears. And he's saying, "I've been supporting you all these years while you've been in jail. I deserve all your attention." And I'm just like, ma'am, like, no. Like, yeah, okay, so you mean to tell me This man can't spend time and go smash his girlfriend. He's a grown man. Like, what? He can't spend time with you and then go spend time with his girlfriend. Like, what are you talking about? That is irrational. Huh? So she's jealous of his girlfriend, which is unhealthy. Um, I can't believe she really believes that he has to give all his time and attention to her and can't be in a relationship. That is unhealthy. This lady needs to go to therapy. She's clearly traumatized from what she's experienced with her son, him being in jail. And with him telling us that that she's divorced from the father, it's giving that she's obsessed with her son and that she's like replaced, like she sees her son as her man. Because when you're saying that he should be giving you all his attention, that's not healthy. Why would he need to give you all his attention? Again, he can spend time with you and have a girlfriend. Like, what are you talking about? He's 41 years old. Oh my God. This woman is out of her mind. She says that she feels like she's being pushed aside, and it's like he wants to spend time with his girlfriend. Like, I don't understand this lady. Um, so she's saying that, like, how are you being pushed aside just because he wants to spend his first night with his girlfriend? He has to sit there in your face on his first night. He can't just go smash and come back. That deep. Like, and then she said she's worried about him, relapsing, and he said that going to jail was the best thing that happened to him. He said he's been clean for the whole 10 years, which I was like, oh wow, that's great. But I hope he's, been in a 12-step program. I hope he has a sponsor, like, because if he has, then he has a chance. He has a real chance of staying clean. He says that for the last 5 years, though. Now, I don't know if he was clean for the whole 10 years because he said for the last 5 years, he had chances to take drugs. Maybe during the first 5 years he did, and he said he always said no. He chose not to. Um, but he was he was saying like it seems like you don't trust me or you don't want me to be able to be responsible for myself. And she's like, no, that's not the case. And then Melissa was like, well, you have a funny way of showing it. And I remember like when she said it, what's his name? Louis, his eyes went big. And I was like, you should have never said that, girl. You shouldn't have said that. She's going to chew you out. And then after that, she was like, I'm only here for a week. You're gonna have him the whole time. Like, I can't spend time with him this week, and then you're gonna see him the whole time after that. And she was like, we'll see. And she knew that was reasonable. Everything she's saying was unreasonable. But when Melissa said that, I'm like, wait, she's only there for a week? So you mean to tell me this man, you feel like you're being pushed aside because this man is gonna spend 1 week with his girlfriend and he's been in jail for 10 years and hasn't slept with a woman in 10 years? This lady she's crazy. She is completely unreasonable and ridiculous. Um, and she's saying it's just temporary. I'm here temporarily for a week. I can't spend time with him for a week. Like this lady is ridiculous. Um, she said that she was saying, well, I want to go to the hotel to be with her, and she was saying she thinks it's safer because he hasn't met with his parole officer yet, so he has to meet with his parole officer the next day to see what his rules are. So she's saying that it's safer if he doesn't take that risk because the probation officer could show up in the middle of the night. They could show up unannounced and said, and he was like, well, we're both responsible adults. And I was like, slow up, homie. Wait a minute. You just got out of jail that same day. You ain't responsible yet. You've never been a responsible adult, according to you. So, no, Melissa's a responsible adult. And then, yeah, so they pretend like they're going to sleep. And Melissa and him are like, nah, we finna leave. So, and the mom got into her moo she gonna go to sleep. And I was like shocked that she actually thought they weren't gonna leave. Like she said, like I was like, oh, you think he's really about to stay there? Like, oh, this lady is really delusional. They're gonna leave, and we see in the preview for next week that they do. And it sounds like the mom says there's an unmarked car outside. So I don't think we obviously see Louis in the confessional, so I don't think he's gonna get in trouble. It's probably she's unmarked car, like. It's a neighborhood. So, anyways, um, the mom's definitely gonna be a problem. I thought that he was going to be a mama's boy, but it doesn't appear that he is because a mama's boy would never challenge his mother. He'd always take his mother's side and defend his mother and put his mother first. And the fact that he immediately was having a conversation with her and challenging her shows that he has some ability to be assertive. And he wasn't rude. He wasn't raising his voice. He was talking to her very level-headed and mature, actually. I was surprised. The mom's the one that wants to still kind of speak to him like he's a child, and she's being very unreasonable. I really think she's traumatized and she needs to go to therapy. I thought her tears were fake. I think she was trying to manipulate the situation, and it didn't work. Neither of them, they were just like, when she was crying, they weren't, because she was trying to use her tears to control them, and it didn't work. So, um, she should go to therapy because, oh, now I realize her father died. She was saying that her father died and she was afraid that he will die. So she really, and leave her. So she really needs to get therapy and understand that you can't control your son's life. Your son is not your man. He's gonna have a relationship. That's normal and healthy, and you need to get over it. He can have a relationship with you and have a relationship with a woman because he's like, anyways. I understand she doesn't like Melissa, but I'm not feeling her because she needs to deal with her issues. But so that was the episode. It was a good episode. Hopefully, Renika and Asante drop off, and so do Brittany and Andy. I'm not feeling them at all. I'm not liking what I'm seeing with um Andy. I'm not feeling it. So, and with Renika and Asante passed away. It's been uncomfortable anyways. I really hope that this couple is not on the whole season. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Tomorrow, we've got Before the 90 Days, the Tell All Part 2, so I'll be uploading that. I also have a weekly Hot Topics video up, so check that out. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, give me 4 or 5 stars if you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.